he's very young. I think he's just about 23 or so, maybe 24. But he had a WWE tryout earlier this year, which is pretty impressive because he's only had a handful of matches, I believe.
But Devin, to be honest with you, it wasn't a great success. We didn't have a great time in Orlando.
You went as well?
Yeah, I went as well. And the thing is yes, because I didn't want to leave him in an ocean full of sharks.
Right.
But I'm talking
because
about the
he's
promotion.
only wrestled for you under your care, right? Because it is very political, very backstabbing.
And the thing is also it says I don't know if I could say this word, but I'm on the shit list. So it's like my son right there. It was something against him right off the bat. And the other thing is. When Vince was supposed to meet us, I went to the Bell Center in Montreal to introduce my son to him. We had a meeting at 11:30 in the morning at the cafeteria at the Bell Center, so we showed up at 11, and finally we had our meeting at 7 o'clock at night. He made us wait 7 hours in the cafeteria while the boys come in all day long and looking at us and saying, "Hey, you're still there? Hey, you're still there?" And finally at 7 o'clock it was. It wasn't even Vince that came. It was Triple H and the other guy who was super nice guy. I love him. He's from England. There, he's got an England. He takes care of
William Regal or Steve Regal.
Yeah, Steve Regal. He was very kind to us. Very all day long. He kept coming to see me. Jacques, I'm sorry, because he had a lot of respect for me. Steve Regal liked me a lot. And he said, Jacques, I'm so sorry that I've taken so much. Oh, no problem. And but I knew that day when we left there, and so did my son. And even I'll tell you a scoop. I got to tell you this: Arn Anderson, he tried to intimidate my son that day at the Bell Center, and we were just minding our own business. And then he got up my son with a plate at the cafeteria, and then Arn just came and kind of like pushed him a bit, say, "Hey, watch out, man!" And my son just turned around on him and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry," because I raised my kids to be polite, but right then I saw it, and so that day, and my son, he did it very well, gentleman-like, but inside of him, it must have hurt his feelings, and it must have hurt his feelings to wait 7 hours for someone who doesn't even show up, Vince McMahon. So I think from then on, he lost a lot of. They did well. The WWE did well. They tried to take away his passion that he had for wrestling, because you've seen him, he had it.
But he has $1 million look. If I could draw a wrestler, it would be him.
And it's amazing, because when I went to the school down there, it was like we spent 6 minutes of wrestling in the ring. The rest was all like how do you call it, CrossFits and
calisthenics,
and it was all like chains on your back doing push-ups. It was like running. It was nothing about the wrestling that I knew of. So I'm part to blame of that too, because I never followed the wrestling for the last 15, 20 years. So I'm part to blame in that, and so I'll take my part of the blame. But at the same time, you take a guy like Cedric, who's bilingual, speaks perfectly English and French. He does drop kicks, he does backflips, he was even doing a 450 before he injured his leg a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. He broke his leg doing a 450 off the top for a 6'7" guy, 300 pounds. You don't see that shit. Oh, I'm sorry. And but I'll have to say that if you have seven rings in a school in Orlando, and you have so many greats, so much as being called great teachers over there, then if he's not perfectly like you want him, then you have a school, take my son and finish what I started, like change him in the new generation, give him what he needs. But you can't take a guy with 6'7", 300 pounds, doing all those flips, bilingual, for marketing in French and Europe and Africa, everywhere, and the Rougeau name, the Rougeau name, I almost forgot about that. But it's like, so he's a fourth generation of the Rougeau family. That's marketable. It's incredible. So if you have a candidate like that who's not perfect, but he has all the assets to become a great champion one day, then take him in and help him. So I don't think their mentality was to help him that much. I think their mentality was more to break him, and I think they succeeded that psychologically, when we didn't meet with Vince, and physically in Orlando when it didn't work out as well. So I think my son lost interest there. Cedric was the greatest potential for the Rougeau family as far as being international.